I will say that I'm running the New York City Marathon on Team Baklava with Action Bronson.
Wait, when is that?
November 3rd.
So how long is it?
26.2 miles.
Is that your first 26.2?
No, second one.
Okay.
So if you guys want to come and support, make a sign.
Man, I love
you pass through Brooklyn at all?
That, man.
You'll be cheering?
I won't be here, but I'll be cheering from afar.
What's up, everybody? It's Joe La Puma. You were watching the Complex Sneaker Show. As always, I'm joined by my two co-hosts, my two friends. First off to my right, Mr. Matt Welty.
We're here doing work, and we're not lazy.
To my left.
Where does he come up with this stuff?
I don't know. But to my left, Mr. Brendan Dunne.
Hey, hi.
Fall, what? Hey, ha?
No,
What?
I said, hey, hi.
Oh, fall tones. That's a good fit.
The season's changed.
That's a good fit. He
Thank
got
you, Joe.
us. He got us. Just give it up to him.
We got him.
He got us. You have the George W. Rangers hat, George W. Bush Rangers hat. I went a little lazy today.
You're feeling
He picked
comfy.
up the slack.
By the way, I don't want another second to go by on this podcast without us acknowledging a special day, a special week. Our friend Trinidad James celebrating his birthday.
Oh,
Also, happy birthday, Trinidad. Also, we saw the freestyle. We saw the old school freestyle. The mic came down.
Orange high tops with the jacket to match. Leather on the sleeve, baby.
He had the creamsicle
Were you gonna do
varsity
on the
jacket.
patch?
Pee on the patch?
Hold on. Did he come through the office and I wasn't here?
He was meant to come by a couple weeks ago. Didn't work out.
Big time, Dust.
I'm
I get
hoping
it.
we can catch it.
I get it. I get that move.
Listen,
I'm coming
I wouldn't
through.
come here either if I wasn't getting paid
Yeah,
for it.
listen. I drop a few bars like that. I don't know if I'm coming to work, let alone
fair
visiting the guys. But
No, for real. Happy birthday to our
Happy
dear friend
birthday.
Trinidad.
birthday.
We've been through a lot together. Love you
Oh.
always. Hope to see you soon.
yeah, hopefully
Continue
Complex
support.
Con.
Yeah.
Hopefully we see him in Vegas.
Yeah.
You know?
Vegas is going to be big.
Put it on Black 8. Red is roulette, is the 8 black or red?
I've never played
Don't
roulette.
No.
Put it all on 8.
I'll be there with you at the table.
Speaking of casinos,
Tell me. What?
we took a trip.
Oh, we knew. Here we go. Here we
You want to
go.
sit back, Joe, and
Oh,
be
let's
regaled
go.
with
You
the
got
tales
5
of us
minutes
in the
for
Far
it.
East?
You got 5 minutes for it. He went. Yeah, go ahead.
No, Welty, go.
We went to the Philippines.
Yes.
Me and Brendan.
Yes.
We stayed in the joke was we stayed in a Nobu hotel that was in a casino.
Yeah.
Even in my absence, my presence is felt. You know.
The Nobu?
Was I in there? Hold on. Was
This guy
you
was
room
sent me
service
the-
going
This guy was hitting
crazy.
up the Nobu room service.
My
Were
man.
you?
A little bit.
Got to take advantage.
Okay. What'd you get?
What
Black
did-
cod miso?
Yeah.
No, I
now
didn't do
we're
that.
talking my
I
language.
think I got like some sort of Donbori bowl, but
Mhm.
I know he got the rock shrimp probably. You know, I bet my boy got the yellowtail hamachi or something. You know, or the
This man has the Nobu
No.
menu memorized.
You know, listen.
It was a wonderful time in the
Yes.
Philippines. We were there hosted by Foot Locker and Adidas for Foot Locker's 50th anniversary. There are so many thank yous I want to give. Seth, who brought us out there. Carlo. Oh, are you making fun of me for
I'm
name
sorry.
dropping?
I'm
Is
sorry.
that-
I
come
shouldn't
on.
be hating.
No.
Go ahead.
It was a
Get
beautiful
the Lil
time.
Nas
Listen,
X script out.
We've long known that there's a big audience in the Philippines. I told people while we were there, Welty, you were sharing these same stats in Manila, where whenever we look at where the traffic is coming from on our posts, on our videos, U.S. is always number 1. 2 or 3, Philippines is often in there.
Yes.
So we wanted to experience that. We're so happy we finally got to experience the sneaker culture in the Philippines. Again, there's so many people. We went to Big Boy Chang's house.
Well, okay, hold on. I saw that.
Did you see the Jollibee spread? I don't think there's any Jollibee left. I think we ate it all.
You ate it all.
yeah.
We've heard about this collection.
Mm-hmm.
This mythical collection.
It's not even
We've
the
seen
shoe
something.
collection.
It's the room,
It's
right?
just like it's just like going to
house.
his house.
Yeah.
Like every little corner, there's something else, and it's like the most coolest, like thought out little piece of.
And he's the
nugget of
nicest guy ever.
Did you guys play Manhunt in it? I used to play
No.
Manhunt in big houses when growing up.
What's that?
You never play hide and seek?
hide
in
Oh,
a
hide and
house?
seek, of course. Yeah.
Did you play hide and seek in Big Boy Chang's house? What? You said it was
This guy never heard of Manhunt.
Could have
You
got
never heard of
lost.
Manhunt? Hold on. We can't. this
You
is a
roll your
lifestyle
eyes at
show.
a Manila recap, but you want okay? What?
You never heard of Manhunt?
No.
That's weird.
Okay.
Okay, that's fine with me.
Anyway, sorry. Let's get back to the collection. pretty well documented, I would say. He has probably one of the best collections in the world.
Safe to say.
I want to know from you guys, what wowed you though? Like,
well, the thing that I said sticks out the most is, so you walk into his house, and as you go into, there's a couple rooms with sneakers, and on the left there's like all the grails, right? All of the Eminem Air Jordans, Oregon Air Jordans,
unreleased Travis Scott Jordans.
All the hype grail level shoes.
Yeezys or even higher.
Yeah, but there's all that.
Michigan State Jordan 11.
There's all that stuff, but then as you go through everything, there's such a mix that you're like, this guy actually really likes the shoes, right? It's not just all about the hype, but you'd almost miss stuff because there would just be like a worn pair of like Air Max DNs that he bought recently, and then 2 rows down, there's a pair of Stunks.
That's cool.
Yeah. And the other thing I like about it, and Welty, I know you enjoyed this too, is a lot of people who collect high-end sneakers like that, they have all the best Nike stuff, and that's it.
He had all the brands.
We know the Nike stuff is generally the most expensive when it comes to secondary market and resale. Nike mags. We could go down the list. Undefeated, whatever.
He had the whole Nike mag collection.
Yes, but what was cool too, the Nike mag stuff. And we have videos of all this stuff, so please turn on the video if you're just watching the audio. But
put
also,
photos in, I hope too.
Yeah, absolutely. The amount of variety where he had a bunch of Vans that you rarely ever see. He had
New Balance
sneakers
Saucony
from a long time ago. Sauconys. One of the coolest shoes I saw that he actually insisted that I take with me.
He gave you a pair?
He did. A player exclusive of sorts for the Philippine National Police Force.
What of what?
It's like
they
it's
look like
their
a pair
own
of
shoe.
Mizunos.
It just says PNP.
Wow.
It's their own. Yeah, it's like they made it. Yeah, they do look like a knockoff Mizuno. I might wear them on the show soon, but yeah. PNP exclusive, not pigeons and planes. Shout out to Jacob. So I will bring them soon. But
maybe second week obscure footwear. We'll get to it, but don't little sneak peek. He already broke his trend. That would have been.
I'll bring them out. I'll bring them out. Yeah, but again, I loved our time in the Philippines.
He had all like, you go around the house, and I was most impressed by, he had like the dead stock vintage like G.I. Joe battleship from like the 80s and like the big box, and you're just like, it's like every little corner there's just a little like tidbit of nostalgia.
Maybe
they got a riff out there. They got
maybe an on display episode with Big Boy Chang.
Yeah, you going to the Philippines?
Maybe
they were asking for Joe La Puma.
We were drinking the milk soda.
Yes, absolutely.
What would you call it though?
What?
Didn't you call it something else?
Calpis? Calpico?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's necessary.
Okay.
Wow, it was a good time. Anybody else you want to thank? There's so many names, Nico and Merwin and Melvin and Marvin and just everybody that we spent. Olivia was helping us out. What do you
pick up all the names you dropped?
I'm not dropping names.
I'm just kidding.
I'm saying thank you to the new sneaker
kidding.
friends we have around the world. It means a lot to me. Welty popped out to Indonesia right afterwards.
Yes,
he was
you
in
did.
Jakarta going crazy.
Philippines.
Where in the
was
world
amazing
is
trip.
Carmen Sandiego?
Philippines is amazing. Indonesia is the craziest place I've ever been to in my life.
Really?
In a good way.
Yes. It's just like such an insane trip where it's like million motorcycles or scooters riding by.
You hop on the bird scooter in Indonesia?
Not bird scooters,
Harley?
like scooters. Eating seafood in shacks while guys are doing renditions of Aerosmith. It was like,
that seems right up your alley.
It was
a dream.
I sat there, and in a moment I was like, I'm genuinely happy right now.
Wow. I like that. Did you like traveling alone? I know sometimes you could get a little
No, it wasn't bad.
Antsy.
No, it wasn't bad.
Good.
No, not at all.
You didn't miss seeing me in the hotel gym every morning?
You guys both went to the gym?
He was running in those.
Yeah. I put a lot of miles in these New Balances.
And then back home,
Yep.
I want to paint this picture.
Yeah,
I don't know if you were going to peel the layers back. Let me paint this picture.
The house is on fire?
No.
Go ahead.
Not at all.
Welty, any Tagalog we want to drop?
No.
Mahal Kita?
No.
Okay.
He's in Indonesia. This guy's back. We're sitting in Noah Callahan Bever's office, and we're discussing some
Business.
upcoming
Programming.
features.
Yeah.
We're talking, and Noah is like,
The big boss of Complex.
Yeah, we know. Get the violin out, right? We know. He knows. And he's, we're going back and forth, and it's like 4:30, let's say.
Mm-hmm.
Keep me honest, I may be off. 4:30, and he brings up, all these articles about what's going to happen with Nike. And we're discussing it back and forth.
Yes.
4:35.
A little earlier than that, I think.
Okay, sorry, 3:30, whatever. He gets
4:15 maybe.
4:15. He gets a notification. John Donahue is out at Nike.
Yes.
Literally,
Yep,
we were
while
talking
we were in the meeting.
See ya.
while we were in the meeting discussing, like, what is gonna. Not that we haven't had takes on it before on
Huge
this podcast,
smile on Welty's face.
but
Chunk the deuce.
But that happened. It was like crazy ironic that happened. And now we're here. And I'll pass it to my colleague over here. But seems to be a lot of excitement.
Yes.
We've heard for years. I wouldn't even say months. Years.
For sure. People have been waiting.
Was he the ultimate Beaverton bean counter?
Oh, wow.
Who?
He might be the Beaverton bean counter in chief. John Donahue.
Oh.
Yeah. That's the guy for sure.
But for all the back and forth
Yeah.
and like the articles and the tweets and things like that and the dissection of
Yeah.
the John Donahue era, there seems to be a lot of excitement for the new CEO.
Elliott Hill. Yeah.
We were talking about it the other day because one thing, this had felt like it had been planned obviously for a while if they have a replacement just ready to plug in, but there was a Bloomberg Business Week article. The headline was "The Man Who Made Nike Uncool," and it felt like, did that feel like that pushed the scales and kind of like
Did that tip the scales? I don't
final
know.
straw?
I mean, obviously this was already planned and ready to go to some extent. Could have been the nail in the coffin. Tough to say, but yeah. John Donahue is out at Nike. I feel like, I made a lot of predictions around this. I feel like maybe somewhere on this podcast I said you dump him in mid-October, and he is indeed on the way out in mid-October when Elliott Hill will step up. There is a lot of excitement in Beaverton around this. Everybody I've talked to at Nike is happy about this. Feels like it's overdue. Elliott Hill coming in looks like everything John Donahue wasn't. He's a Nike lifer, more or less, a veteran who spent 32 years at the brand, beginning as an intern in 1988, retired in 2020. In a twist of fate, it was John Donahue who insisted that they throw a going away party for Elliott Hill. I can tell you for sure that the people who are paid to shape the image of Nike in the public want this guy to look like the opposite of John Donahue for the sake of the consumers and the shareholders and the investors.
Isn't it kind of funny that like they're all kind of throwing their boss under the bus, or like?
I mean,
Would you say that that's fair that they are publicly or behind
I
closed doors,
don't
or
think
what?
too many people are doing it publicly. I mean, I see some people posting about it, but not in the most direct way. One longtime Nike employee who I won't name had posted the "Winning Isn't for Everyone" campaign right as they announced that John Donahue was stepping down, and I think somebody somewhere had made a meme already about "Winning Isn't for Everyone" with John Donahue attached.
I thought it was just kind of implied, even with his like announcement, where didn't he make a statement saying we need to get back to like the old Nike? That was exactly what he said, but it was we need to get back to our winning ways.
Who?
The Elliott Hill.
I'm not sure what the exact quote you're referencing is, but yeah, they definitely are looking to change the direction for sure. And like I said, I think that there's going to be a lot of effort from Nike to make this guy look like a new day at Nike. They sent over like a long bio of him, and he's mentioning in there his favorite sneakers, which is something you would never associate with John Donahue actually being excited about product. He mentions Nike Epic React Flyknit 2
like that one?
as his favorite shoe. Fine shoe, you know. He likes Jordan 1 Lows, and he said he likes the Nike Craft, although they didn't say which Nike Craft shoe. By the way, Tom Sachs Nike might be coming back. That might be another
There's
one.
a little nugget. Also, he worked with MJ. I love that clip that you posted. Seems like,
Yeah, rose through the sales department at Nike in the 90s and really was ran the whole P&L in the 2010s. So a guy who knows the business very well. One of the things mentioned was that he will be living in Portland, which is something that people very much criticize John Donahue over, where Nike had everybody come back to office, but the guy who's on top of the whole business was actually living in Silicon Valley and flying private jets there a few times a week. So there are things like that where they're making a very clear distinction between Elliott Hill and John Donahue, and it's very purposeful.
What did you say? You said he looks like a little bit like George Clooney?
Yeah. He's got that. What did you say? He's got like a Robert Redford thing going on.
What do you think?
I haven't thought about it.
God forbid you should.
The first thing that when Nike made a new CEO is I was thinking about which celebrity he looks like.
Do you have a take on it, Welty?
Well, I mean, like what I said earlier, I mean, I do think it's nice that you actually get someone who cares about the brand. You know,
Yeah.
I think that John Donahue sucked. Just to put it like,
Okay.
I'm not saying that because everyone's like, oh, Welty hates Nike. I don't hate Nike, you know, just not my favorite shoe brand. Crazy to believe, right? That people can be like that. But I do think it's nice that they're trying to reignite like the lore behind Nike. But I do think it's funny that they're just clearly kind of like shitting on John Donahue on the way out by kind of comparing, saying that this guy is everything that we need to move forward, where it's like, okay, so you're saying that this guy was everything that was wrong, you know?
Yeah.
Kind of like, don't let the door hit you on the way out. I don't care for John Donahue or like the way that he kind of crafted Nike and just made it based all around the Dunk and the Air Jordan 1 and the DN.
See, my thing is, like, I don't know if John Donahue is solely to blame for that.
Yeah, I don't know if you put that on him.
But that's his legacy at the
That
brand.
is his legacy.
What, that the Panda Dunk exploded?
Not the Panda Dunk exploded, but just the Nike just became
Over-reliance on a couple
Air Force 1,
silhouettes
Air
and-
Jordan 1, Dunk.
Here's the thing, though. I'm glad John Donahue is out, and I think Elliott Hill is a good direction for the brand and for the company. But I think that a lot of people who work there are like using this moment to maybe absolve the whole company of any wrongdoing in the past 4 years and act like it was all John Donahue's doing. Like, you can't pretend like John Donahue was personally interfering with you doing good work or you making hot shoes. Like, was John Donahue really slowing down innovation that much? Maybe he didn't allocate as much resources to it as a previous CEO would have, or a different leader would have. But it's like, I understand why people are happy, because maybe their stock options are underwater and they're excited for it to boost back up when there's new leadership and things turn around. But it's like, weren't you able to still do good work during those years, even though the CEO was a guy who came from a consulting background, who wasn't that familiar with Nike or the footwear industry? Like, I would never sit here if we had a CEO who I disagreed with and pretend like that was something holding me back in a huge way. Like, you still should be able to do good work. I don't know. Maybe I'm being overly cynical. Again, I understand that people are happy. And
I do.
I do feel like it can go both ways. Like, you can still be doing good work, working for a bad boss, right? But you can also say that you're doing good work, but the overall direction of where people are leading you to like pursue the work isn't the best route. You know, it's like leaders are leaders for a reason, right?
Also, I'll say that this is going to take a long time. It's going to be a few years if there is a Nike bounce back or an Elliott Hill effect before that really shows up in like what we consume in the marketplace. I think there are a lot of things in the John Donahue era that will take a long time to undo. One of them, all these layoffs, that was one of the big criticisms just about how callous he was toward the layoff approach. And just, there are quotes about him at Bain about how regularly they would cut people whenever they needed to. And the way those things interrupted processes, and it takes a lot of people to make a shoe, you know, to take a sneaker from sketch to reality. And like, how fewer people are there in the building on campus now who know how to do those things, who got shifted around, who there's a new offense, there's a new strategy. So things like that, it'll take a while to build back up. And I think people on the outside, I mean, we're on the outside, but we know a little bit about what goes on the inside, like, don't necessarily see that. So it's not a finger snap.
Or wasn't one of the biggest, not biggest, but one of a criticism that against him recently that like he gutted the DNA archives department to some degree.
I don't know if that was like one of the biggest ones, but that was definitely a thing. Yeah, there were a lot of cuts there for sure.
It just like, it kind of hit me when, I know we've talked about this a lot, but so I'm in Indonesia and we go to Atmos there, right? And we're looking at the shoe wall, right? And all the Nike stuff is up front, and then like, but it's like 75% of the store is non-Nike product.
Yeah.
And you just see the Nike selection, and it's just like Dunks, Air Jordan 1, Air Force 1, Air Max 1.
Yeah.
Right? Which are all classic shoes. Don't get me wrong, but it was just so boring.
Yeah.
And then you see all the other stuff and you're like, wow, there's so many cool shoes here, right? Especially being in a store like Atmos that gets the best product from all the brands. And it just seemed like a total like representation of like what Nike's become.
Yeah. I mean, I hope that's one of those short-term things that we can look forward to soon, and it's something I've spoken about here and elsewhere before, just the way they're going to cut back and curtail those silhouettes to protect them and give us some more diversity in the marketplace. So yeah.
Yeah, interested to see, but there is definitely a lot of excitement around that hire, and especially in the last 6 to 8 months, all you heard was like, when is this happening? And
I don't think Elliott Hill was also a name that was near the top of what people were floating out there. People would say, you know, Heidi O'Neill, people like that. But Elliott Hill was a guy who was spotted on campus after his retirement, and who people thought, oh, is that a thing? You know, so
then people think, or some people thought to some extent that like maybe Mark Parker would come back.
Yeah, there was a big rumor floating around.
Which has happened at other companies.
Yeah, that he would follow in Bob Iger's footsteps, a guy who he's quite close with, and come back for a second term. I mean,
sometimes you see like a football team, like the old coach like comes back, and
yeah.
Interested to see.
Yeah,
We'll
for
see.
sure. The Elliott Hill era begins, I think, October 14th.
Okay. Some other Nike news. What do you have behind you?
Yeah, the Nigo Air Force
It's a product.
3s are on their way.
It's a product
Pull some stickers
focused
up here, yeah.
show. Packaging is cool.
So
That's the best part of the shoe.
I want to like these shoes really bad, and I think they're decent, but I think that a lot of stuff about the sneaker has been better than the actual sneaker. The little anime clip they did.
People
for
love
the
that.
rollout
Anime
was
thing
awesome.
is the best part about the shoe.
Yeah, the packaging is awesome. Just the actual sneaker.
box
This
is
is
sick.
Nigo Nike Air Force 3. You want
Sure, I got it.
Well, I will say I think that
give you a little Mike Vick toss there?
Yeah.
not that this colorway stinks.
I do like the
I don't
pink,
think it's
I would
great.
say.
I don't think it stinks, but I do think that the other colorway, the navy pair, seems like such a better representation.
No, these are better.
No.
You gonna wear these?
Yeah.
The navy pair to me is much better because at least the navy pair, the toe box has, because like the navy hit here,
Yeah.
it has the patent leather on the toe box.
Nigo
so it
Force is
seems a little more representative of.
The heel is good, right?
This is really cool.
It seems
Yeah.
a little more representative of his Bape work, but that's what people were expecting. I know there was that photo of Kid Cudi wearing the blue pair where
Yeah.
I looked at him and I was like, oh, I get the shoe in that instance where him wearing them and him wearing a patent leather shoe
Yeah.
all made sense. But like, he's just like, don't move me, you know?
Fair enough. One of the weird wrinkles in the rollout was that when Nike announced them, they mentioned that in some places it'll be branded as Ojin, which is Nigo backwards, as some playful approach to it because it's still the same foundation, blah, 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 brand speak, blah, blah, blah. I guess part of that is that Nigo doesn't have the rights to his name all around the world. So I think in China it will be called Ojin instead of Nigo, but I really wonder.
But it says Nigo on the heel right there.
I know. Maybe there's a separate version of the shoe, but definitely it won't be billed as Nigo there from what I understand. And on the patch?
We putting this on?
This just doesn't seem like, it's not like a awful shoe, but it just doesn't seem like this is what a brand like Nike's going to bet on to like be the big.
Do we think it looks better in person?
Yes.
Yes, it does.
Yes.
It does.
It doesn't
It
like,
doesn't move you.
yeah. It's
Fair
not
enough.
like, I'm saying it's not like a god awful shoe, but it's just, you're just like,
Yeah.
I do like the pink toe box. What did you tell me yesterday? If it was what? What
If
is
this was 2007, you'd be about it. If you walked into like clientele in New York back in the day and saw those on the shelf,
The future is in the past.
all over Bape hoodie?
Hey, one thing I was wondering, sorry to just kind of touch back on the thing we were talking about, and maybe this doesn't really dip into this one, but with the strategy to be like, hey, we're gonna bring back all the grails,
Yeah.
right? And I don't know if John Donahue was the person that initiated that, but with the change of guard,
I feel like no. There's John Donahue doesn't know what a Wu-Tang dunk is.
no, but I just meant like not John Donahue saying you need to do this, but like Nike trying to figure out a way to like hit sales margins or build,
someone's boss's boss told
Yeah.
them that, and then their solution was
because
bring
they didn't
back
have
the hot stuff.
anything like they didn't have any new product coming that was meant to fill the holes that like, hey, with the new guy in town, are they gonna try to like roll back that strategy?
I would be pretty surprised if they. I mean, all those shoes are.
I don't think they're gonna roll-
No,
We can't roll back that
I'm
strategy.
not saying that those shoes aren't gonna come out, but I meant like just going forward that like that happened. Like say like Undefeated comes out, but then like that was the end of it.
I mean, there's a big
don't
bulk.
think so.
There's also a big bulk coming that like even if they decided to roll that out, it's like opening up the archive grails like is fully taking shape already. Wu-Tang, Undefeated, like that's enough to actually be a thing. I don't think it's going to continue.
I don't think Elliott Hill is going to come in here and say like we're not doing that anymore.
Yeah.
I just thought maybe
Cancel,
like,
imagine.
no, I'm not saying those shoes are gonna get canceled,
Yeah.
but I meant like
Yeah,
after
yeah.
those come
I know,
out,
yeah.
that's like the end.
And
of
also,
it.
it'd be hard to really discern because we don't know how long of a strategy.
Yeah, that's
for
what I
both
mean. We
things
would
is
never
gonna be.
really know.
Yeah. Should we bring out our guests?
yeah.
Let's do it. One of the most electrifying players in NFL history. Someone with a bunch of sneaker history, a great era. This is my era of Jordan exclusives. These are the Jordan 17 era. This is the Finish Line Roosevelt Field era. The matching jersey with the white and red Jordan 17s or the black Jordan 17s. But he's here to promote the new documentary on Amazon Prime, Evolution of Black Quarterback. Like I said, one of the most dynamic players in NFL history. He has had Nike signature shoes. Please welcome to the Complex Sneaker Show, Michael Vick. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good, man. Thanks for having me.
So good to chop it up with you.
Yeah.
Thank you for being here.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
One of the things we want to talk about first thing is you're part of the new docu-series Evolution of the Black Quarterback. Can you talk about your role in that and how that came together?
Yeah, I'm just talent in it. Had a chance to do some amazing interviews. It was produced by Smack Productions, Anthony Smith EP by my wife Kiafa, and Victory Film. Just a amazing opportunity to sit down with guys that I admired, looked up to. People always come and tell me that I changed the game, and I'd be like, nah, it was a couple more before me.
Who were those players you're thinking of?
You know, obviously from Steve Young, who's in it, Randall Cunningham, Warren Moon, Doug Williams, Donovan McNabb. And so when I mentioned those guys to, you know, guys that's younger than me or guys in the league now, a lot of them didn't see them or didn't hear about them or didn't know anything. So I felt like this was needed to be a tutorial to show our generation how fortunate they are and how, you know, those guys are trailblazers for us.
Absolutely. We also like to start with what everyone's wearing on feet. Crisp.
Yeah, I'm going to keep the whites on, man.
Yeah?
That's to the day I die. But still, ultimately, you know, still got my own shoe line. I bring my shoe out here and there.
Okay.
Yeah, but the whites, man, I've been on the road, and this all I had, so I've been trying to keep them clean.
How many wears do you normally try to get out of a pair?
Or at the height, how many white on whites were we buying?
I mean, I was buying, because I really didn't mess them up or go out and scuff them up, so I was looking at about 3 pair a month.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? One a pair a week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Keeping them fresh. I actually wear the mids. My daughter over there, she got the mids on.
Okay. I
With the
see you.
straps on 'em.
And I was a big time mid guy.
Well, you
like,
had the mids with Nike. You had the
I had the mids with Nike.
the
yeah.
2 pairs. You got the, you know, the blue pair.
the blue
and then,
pair with the yellow.
Yeah, and then the
you
black.
remember, similar to the color of your shirt.
Yeah.
They were staples in the V7 line.
It's funny because I feel like the mids for some people it's like a love it or hate it. Of
Yeah,
the,
like
of the Air Force.
It's all in what you wearing. I think the lows just kind of took over from like 2010 on down, and it was mainly because how people was dressing, and I think fashion trends changed. You know, the low top looked a little more neater, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But still, don't take away from the mids, man. The mids are classics. My daughter got them on now. And
Yep, she crushing it. I see it. I see it through the camera. Yeah.
And my kids, they do the lows, you know what I'm saying, with flavor.
Yeah.
But she came in with the mids on her own. I thought it was cool.
There we go. I'm doing New Balances. This is the next.
Yeah, they hard too.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody got on flavor right now.
Yeah.
I'm feeling it. I like those and.
Action Bronson Fuel Cell Rebel V4.
What do you have, like a direct line to him?
I'm
The
running,
earliest? Are you the one getting the shoes the earliest now?
I don't know.
See these.
I will say that I'm running the New York City Marathon on Team Baklava with Action Bronson.
Wait, when is that?
November 3rd.
So how long is it?
26.2 miles.
Is that your first 26.2?
No, second one.
Okay.
So if you guys want to come and support, make a sign.
Man, I love
you pass
through
Brooklyn at all?
That, man.
You'll be cheering.
I won't be here, but I'll be cheering from afar.
I'll send you my bib number and you can watch my
I'll
progress.
be cheering from afar,
Yeah,
man. For
appreciate
sure,
that.
because that's truly Iron Man status. It takes a hell of an athlete.
Yeah. Well, we'll see if
like that.
Let's wait until I cross the finish line.
Wait, are you gonna wear them?
Even if you're just starting that, just to take on that challenge, man, because you know you're gonna get through at least 20.
I'm doing 20 this
He
weekend.
could do it. Are you?
Because you got
Yeah,
a
it's
condition.
part of the training
you got a
plan.
condition.
Yeah.
Did you ask Sergio Santos for any tips or no? Our
Not
friend?
this time.
Okay.
Not this time.
Okay.
It's funny.
We
One
got Sergio.
time my wife was doing a 5K and I was training with her to do a 5K. It might have been a little longer than that.
Yeah.
I know I was nervous for her, so I was training. You know, I'm training with you. I'm gonna do it with you, man. The training was just
Too much?
kicking my ass, bro.
I hear
you. Yeah,
man. Like it was because we had to, 3 to 4 miles a day.
Yeah, of course,
It had to. I think it was like 10 miles or something, man. It was something weird.
Might have been a half marathon.
Yeah,
or something
it was
like
some
that.
crazy little number, and I was more concerned for her than anything. But yeah, I know it's a different story.
No, I feel you. The more you sweat in training, the less you bleed in combat.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Steve Prefontaine over here. All
for
of a
sure.
sudden.
You gotta make practice hard.
Yeah.
I believed in that.
Yeah.
For sure.
Are you wearing New Balances? Because you're running.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Those or something else?
Something else.
Okay. I'm doing the G-Dragon Paranoise 3.0. This is my third wear. They're peeling off pretty consistently, but I feel like the diminishing returns. They start to peel after 3 wears, and then it's tough to peel off. But
Mike, have you seen these? It's like
Nah, I
the
never
second
seen
layer
those.
underneath.
yeah, there's a whole different layer behind these.
real?
So, yeah, so they peel
So they
off.
morph.
Exactly.
I feel like that's like,
I like
I
that.
feel like that's the opposite
They
of like
change.
your viewpoint on Air Force Ones, though, because you try to keep them as crispy as possible. He wants
He's
to
trying to
keep-
mess them
Right.
up.
Yeah, these are to beat up though a little bit.
We can step
It's like
on them for
mine.
you.
They're not all white, so
Mine start turning like dull.
yeah.
So they morph too from white to like a butter pecan.
There
What
it
do you
is.
what do you do with the old Air Force Ones? You just chuck them or like give them out to people? Or-
I chuck them.
yeah.
Start wearing them around the house, yard work. Yes, I do yard work.
You mowing the lawns in the uptowns?
No, I would. I would. I wanted to mow the lawn, but wifey, she be like, she a little afraid that I'm going to like cut my hand off. Or something. Nah, you can't do that. Yes, I can, but you know, I listen.
I'm wearing the N Clothing Saucony Triumph 4s. This pair is inspired by the Loch Ness Monster.
Wow.
Nice.
Well, you went
Okay.
deep.
Nice.
Yeah. Do you believe in the Loch Ness Monster, Brendan?
Do I? I don't know. Mike, what do you think?
Shit, man. 100 years ago,
Maybe, right?
200. Well, I said what they say, 200 million years
Yeah,
ago.
yeah,
something,
yeah,
something
yeah.
that you can't fathom.
Yeah.
I believe
It
it,
could
was
be in
something exquisite in the ocean.
I stay out of the ocean now. There's too many sharks
Straight
and
up.
whales, you know? Get
Yeah,
me
it's
to
just-
a pool.
Man, yeah. I mean, if I see a barracuda, I'm
Feel
getting
you.
out the water.
I feel you.
Yeah, and they only like 6 feet. Yeah, so you talking. I watched too much Shark Week.
There
No,
you go.
forget it.
There you
You
go.
playing around.
I'm so happy you're here because these guys know, and like my favorite era kind of like of Jordans and things like that were like early 2000s.
Yeah.
And it wasn't the Jordan 1s or the 3s, but it was like the 17s. And I was hitting when you had the black Atlanta Falcons jersey, but you wore the 17s on field
Yeah.
like
Whole
early.
season.
Do you
Yeah.
remember that era? And I think it was even before you got signature shoes from Nike, but like
Yeah.
the Jordan 17s, were they like giving you early? And what was it like wearing those?
I think I actually purchased those.
Okay.
Bought them. The cool part about playing on AstroTurf in Atlanta was that you can wear whatever you wanted. My cousin Aaron Brooks, he wore Air Force Ones, like the
Okay.
high tops.
In
when
the
he was
NFL
in
game.
New Orleans. In the NFL game, yeah, and balled out too.
Yeah.
I was always concerned about, it was always a stigma, you got to protect your ankles, but we was on turf, and so he did it. So when I wore those, it was just about trying to look good, man,
Yeah.
trying to be different, and obviously trying to set up the next step for Nike that I can be good enough to have my own shoe,
Yeah.
my own signature shoe. That was in 2002, so it was fairly early.
Pre-internet.
But I was kind of ahead of the game.
Yeah,
Look,
pre-social
this all
media,
work out.
where like
Yeah,
if you wore it today, it would have blown
Yeah.
up. But like
Yep.
if you knew, Nike Talk was posting like Vic's
Yep.
wearing these. So yeah,
Yeah,
Did
it
Mike
was cool.
Jordan reach out to you at all with you wearing his shoes?
Yeah, not about the shoes, but
Yeah.
I spent some time with Jordan like 2002. He had came down. He was with the Wizards. And
Okay.
Yeah.
They had played the Hawks. And so I went and hung out with him one night, and he had a good time. Him, Oakley, the whole crew.
what a crew!
I was young, and we had a good time, man. I tell you what, I ain't had to pay for nothing.
Yeah.
I've heard some
You
stories
had to pay
about
for the shoes though, but you,
Wait, did the
Yeah,
white
that's
and reds
kinda
come with the
weird.
briefcase
Yeah,
or
that's
no?
kinda weird.
yeah.
Because the ones you wore, they came with the briefcase. Do you remember anything like that? It was
No,
the
I can't remember.
Okay,
I can't recall
okay.
that. But maybe.
Yeah.
If so, I probably discarded it. I didn't
Okay.
keep it.
I love that you just went out and bought them though. You weren't trying to call up
Yeah,
anybody
yeah,
at
I
Nike or
would-
Jordan brand.
Nah, man. I had money. I had enough money to go out and buy my own. I always wanted to be a guy who, if you wanted to give me something, you'll give it to me. You'll gift me. You'll send it to me. I never wanted to.
What
be a
stores
burden
were
on
you?
anybody.
What stores were you buying sneakers from back in the day?
Foot Locker.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Atlanta has some, some of the little mom and pop retail
For
stores
sure.
that we used to slide up into.
Yeah, Walters.
But
Yep.
Yeah.
I think maybe I'm gonna take y'all back going to Athlete's Foot. Remember
Yeah.
Athlete's Foot.
Yep.
Yeah, we was doing Athlete's Foot, but mainly Foot Locker was where everything dropped. It was there. You got to be there at a certain time. Y'all know.
Yeah.
Or you miss it.
Do you love that era of like the 7 jersey being hooked? It was like being hooked up with the sneakers. That was such like a good era of like jerseys and authentic jerseys. I
Yeah,
remember.
remember everybody was wearing jerseys at the time, just rocking random jerseys
Yes.
of their favorite players and teams. Yeah, it was just that was a good moment in my life, man, because I was just learning my way in the National Football League. I was fresh. I was 22 years old. 2002 when I wore those.
Yeah.
Just being a starting quarterback in NFL, it was one of the most amazing highlights of my life.
Sure.
Especially in that season.
Yeah.
Because it was turbulent, it was up and down, and I had to find my way. But yeah, man, it was good times, and setting trends.
For sure.
Setting trends.
For
and
sure.
now you get to still pull it up and see, oh, damn, bro had the Jordans on.
Yep.
It's cool.
That, like, picture bubbles up every few years because, like, now that there's social media, people, you got to remind them, like,
Right.
Was there any hopes that you could have signed a Jordan back then? Because I know, like, during that era, like, Randy Moss was a Jordan guy and had his own shoe.
Yeah, Randy was a Jordan guy. It was a couple guys that was with Jordan. We explored it. We talked about it, but I had a close relationship with Nike.
Yeah.
And we was just trying to grow that. I remember after the 2002 season, we went to the divisional playoffs. We beat Green Bay.
Okay.
I thought I had arrived. I was like, man, I need my own shoe.
Yeah.
It's time. Nike was like, nah, it's still too early. And then going into 2003, they made the Vick 1. I was like, we're going to experiment with this, and we're going to put you in it, and we're going to see how it perform. It was a high top.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Everything I did in creating my own shoe was patterned around the Jordan. So that was the first thing I pull out. We got to the Vick 2, I pull out a pair of Jordans.
Yeah.
Vick 3, pair of Jordans come out. My guy E. Scott Morris, who I still work with to this day, you just go to work, man. Go to work. Those fun processes too.
Did you go to Portland and they came to you, or you went to headquarters?
I went to them. It was cool. That they would fly me out, sometimes private if I couldn't make a commercial.
Mark Parker jet. Have you
yeah.
ever been on? You got any?
No, I haven't been on the Nike.
They send you Southwest 37C.
Well, it took a long time for me to get on that plane because I used to be like, man, no, I'd rather fly with everybody else.
Okay.
I want other people around me, and so. Yeah. But yeah, just the common courtesy that them doing that showed that it was important to them to try to push and make a good product and keep me happy.
Did they hook you up to all like the machines for wear testing?
I did all that. Yeah.
Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah, I was in the lab.
Like 50 Cent in the video.
Yep, I watched the whole process from start to finish. I was very hands-on with my shoes and building them because we had to create them so that they was feasible on the football field, that you can go out and you can execute with them, and they had to be a certain weight and still had some sturdiness and was built with stability. So it was a lot of thought that went into it, and me trying it out and wearing it. It was really fun.
What do you remember from first signing with Nike in 2001? What was that like?
I remember meeting everybody from Phil Knight to Bill Keller, and
what was that Phil Knight meeting like? What a legend!
Back then, I was just so ingratiated and just trying to be the best football player I can be. I really didn't know all these names. It was like just let me play football. That's all I really want to do. But I kind of knew the magnitude of the people that I was meeting, like what they really meant to Nike as far as placement. And I just knew in due time nothing was gonna happen other than signing the contract and me having to go out and make some plays. Yeah, I had to go out and make it happen and earn it. So instantly, once I signed the contract, it was like a little more pressure. Yeah, I was mounting on top of not being a bust and not being so.
Was it one of those footwear contracts where
process.
They're going to do more for you if you hit certain?
Yeah, it was escalators in the contract. I knew that if this contract was going to be what I wanted it to be, it was based on performance. Yeah, I appreciated everything that was coming to me. I had a ton of endorsements at the time, and I was just kind of set on none of this is sustainable if I don't perform on the field. So instantly it was just like this whole paradigm shift in my mind to like, yo, damn, I got to just focus on football, and everything else will be there when when the season's over.
Sure,
we can reconvene.
I think one of the cool things about that relationship too is that they hooked you up with E. Scott Morris, because even again, you're here to talk about the evolution of the black quarterback, but you're one of the rare guys in that position back then. But also, E. Scott Morris is one of the few
part of the revolution.
Black designers at that level.
At a high level.
Yeah.
He was part of the revolution. When you talk about changing the game, revolutionizing the position, it embodied everything from having a signature shoe to working with E. Scott to having a relationship with Nike to getting the people in the city of Atlanta involved and catering to them in terms of the brand and what they wanted. Every color was made for the city. Yeah. That was part of the culture that we was building. It was part of my play on the field being different. Fighting for that dual threat title in those shoes, making history, being the first to rush for 1,000 yards in the Vick 4s. It's a lot of good, cool moments.
You speak about Atlanta. I had T.I. on another show that I do, and he was like, when
I think I've
those,
seen it, yeah.
when those shoes hit, what it did for the city, and he was like, he was so proud of it, and he was like, I want them to come back out, but I think he may have even like hand delivered them to him. But you talk about how big it was for Atlanta, him being such an Atlanta staple and a big sneakerhead. He was like, man, when those hit, it meant something.
Nah, like I say, when we was building these shoes, we was thinking about Tip and thinking about Jeezy and thinking about Luda and 2 Chainz and all these dudes, because they was all running together at the time, and they was creating their own paths to success. And I'm not a rapper, but somewhat of an entertainer. Let's make sure that all these guys feel good about having them, wanting to get them, and they was all swagged up anyway. So all you had to do was just gift them to them, and it was good exposure, good publicity for everybody, and we all can look back at those times and appreciate it, and just say we was a big part of that era and that movement and hip hop and sports.
For sure.
I feel like when you talk to sneaker collectors, they always go back to the Vick 2 is like the one that they like really gravitate towards. Like, what was it like putting that one together to make it so it was like an on-field shoe, but such like a lifestyle shoe at the same time?
Yeah, the Vick 2 was like, okay, we made it. We got through the Vick 1. We was playing around with it. It was mid-top. It was a little heavy. It was different, but it looked good. The lifestyle shoe looked, to me, was much more playable than in terms of off the field culture than the cleat on the field. And so I only got a chance to wear one time. I was hurt that year, so I wore it, I think my first game back, coming back from an ankle injury. But I still had the lifestyle, and those was my favorite. I rock those to this day. Unfortunately, I don't own the EP, so we can't retro those. But yeah, so the 2 was like, all right, let's design something that, 1, I'm going to feel good with on the field. 2, back to lifestyle, make sure that everybody accept it. But I remember in making the shoe, E. Scott Morris was like, I want to make something that if you sitting at the top of the stadium, when they look at your feet, they wondering what's going on your feet.
Yeah.
And so he came up with that whole,
The
he was the
50
first to do it.
50-yard
right?
read. Yeah.
The black and white concept.
Yeah.
So, I don't know if they was black in the back, white in the front. And when he showed me, I was like, yo, you on to something. And when we looked at it from afar, we actually went up in the in the high school stadium when we stood at the top of the bleachers and had somebody on the field put them on and run around, and you just see the white moving.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Oh. And then after that, he came with, E-Mine started churning. He came, put the chrome on the back. Like, why the chrome? He like, yo, because you always talk about, you leaving people in the dust. Because it was storylines behind it. And that, man, it was just cool processes. So, yeah, man, I wish our generation can experience that whole line. But I got to recreate a new line.
That shoe got retro, though, in 2015.
Yep, 2015.
Was it awesome to see it come back after going through everything?
It was great. And it was just the 2.
Yeah.
Probably because that was the people's favorite.
Yeah.
The 3 had a lot, strapped up. And that year was more so about, we locking it down this year. Like, this year 5, we going to strap it up, lock it down, lock your feet down. We going to get back to some straps, like the 1. 2 was retro because it was the cleanest. I feel like 3 was more so like, you play basketball in them. They, had a, how did Junior say, I feel? What's that? Bruce Smith. Remember Bruce Smith had the shoe with the double straps? I didn't try to duplicate that, but it was more so just, that was E. I think it had 1 strap.
But did it feel like validation at all that, like, after, like, the deal, I think, with Nike, that through all of it, they, like, wanted to bring your shoe back for you? Or
yeah, they, the relationship is still there to this day. A great relationship. It's just that, everybody that moved on and times have changed. And they always wanted the best for me. They always gave me ample opportunity to be great and to create something that could be withstanding and long-lasting. Unfortunately, it didn't. And I tried to push them to bring it back, and when I got to Philly, but it just wasn't the same. And I had to acknowledge that. It was tough to swallow that and accept it.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I'm back, comeback player of the year, come on, let's do it again. But you know, we 5 years removed. E. Scott moved on. Everybody was on different paths.
When it was at its peak, were you paying close attention to sales numbers? Were they sending you reports of how many units you were moving?
Yeah, we was paying, and this without social media. So I'm paying attention to, not really diving into the numbers, but I know the royalty and my percentage, and my royalty checks was pretty nice.
Yeah.
On top of what I was getting paid. So I'm like, yo, we doing really good. And it's, you know, part of this because of you having success on the field, but two, they had amazing marketing plans, and we was catering to the right groups of people.
You said before social media, but with the two, you also had that commercial, the Mike Vick experience, where the kid's at the amusement park and he sits in and takes them, takes them through, and you give him like a little pep talk before he goes out on the field. Do you remember like the idea for that or making that happen?
I remember the concept, and I was like, man, we need to add some strength to this. This is like, you know, one of the commercials now that I appreciate. I'm like, damn, that was really cool. But back then, I'm like, you know, I see Big Bro, I see Allen in commercials where, you know, it's more urban and more street, and I'm like, yo, nah, let's cater to that. But it's like I had a different audience in football, and as a quarterback, you know, with a helmet on, you gotta find ways to be creative and create that visibility. For sure. You know, when I'm thinking, that's how they was thinking. Like, yo, let's get you out there. Let's get your face out there. People know who Mike Vick is. And so I appreciated that way of thinking at that time, now that I think about it in retro. And so it's really cool to know that they always had my best interest at heart, always protecting the money and making sure that the brand takes off. It's a big step, man, when you give somebody their own line, bro. It's a lot of responsibility to come along with that, and just to keep it consistent is important.
You mentioned Allen Iverson. How onto his shoes were you like early on? Like when you were in high school, were those popping off?
I just remember being like, damn, bro got his own shoe. I got to get mine. It's like everything he did, I wanted it.
Yeah.
And he would come around and I would see him, and he always check in on me and what I had going on. And I'm like, you see, he got the answers on his feet.
Yeah.
Before you were a Nike guy.
This was when I was with Nike.
Okay.
But this is like, 2001, 2, before they gave me my shoe. 03 was when they gave me one, and just as a trial run. But bro come around, he have a Bentley, he have braids, he have his own shoe on him. He like
the trifecta, right? Bentley, braids, and the shoe.
This ain't the coolest guy ever in life.
Yeah.
And when I say cool, I'm talking about top to bottom, man. Like from his heart, you know what I'm saying, heart and soul, you know what I'm saying, like big bro.
Did they ever like send you cleats? I found these, but do you remember these at all? This looked like a PE that was made for you. I don't even know if it ever got to you.
No, that never got to me.
Okay.
Right there. What is that?
It's a Jordan. It's like a Jordan 3, Jordan 3 cleat. It's funny because Brandon Richard posted about it, but I was wondering if those sometimes like those just never make it, but I think they were made for you.
Special color ups and things like that.
Nah, that never got to me, especially early.
Yeah.
Later, I might have wore it, but still, it was all about weight.
Okay.
With me, obviously being a dual threat, I gotta be able to move my feet, and we always try to make my shoe 13 ounces. So I would get a pair of cleats that came in from Nike when I was in Philly, and I'm wearing them, and it'd be like 14 and a half.
Can you tell?
15.
Can you tell? Are you that in tune?
Yeah, I can tell.
Yeah.
I can tell because footwork was a big part of my development.
Yeah.
And so I trained in my shoe. I trained in my cleat. That's what I'm trying to make now for the next generation, man, because all the kids come, yo, when your line coming out? A lot of them don't remember the retro of 15 of the two.
Yeah, totally.
And you had the Vick 3. I think there was like a special edition version of that where the shoe was all lasered up.
Graffiti. Yeah. I mean, that was E.
Okay.
E. Scott Morris,
Yeah, he was like, man, just all these things that you love. You'll see a fishing pole, and you'll see a picture of my mom, and you'll see Air Force One in the back, and you'll see the number 7. He was just so creative in the mind, trying to do something different. That was actually Atlanta's favorite.
Okay.
The city of Atlanta, they love and that was limited edition. But man, just all those markings on them, they all had some type of significant meaning to my life.
How about the Vic 5 that never came out? Do you still have any of those anywhere?
Nah, I never. That's what I was trying to push when I came home, from Leavenworth. I was like, yo, let's get back on the Vic 5.
2009.
Not 2009, because I knew that was too early, and I was, third string quarterback, behind Donovan. Like 2010, going into 11, okay, let's keep that going. But I never got to wear them. I think LaDainian wore them. Plexico wore them.
Okay.
And they was looking good too. I don't remember too much about building the 5. Building the 5 was we was on some, it's time to go win a championship.
Yeah.
We had a new coach coming in who I was, ecstatic about. Bobby Petrino, who worked with Lamar, mastered his system, not mastered the system, but learned the system in like 2.5 months coming out of that camp in 2007 before everything happened. My coaches felt like I was going to be the MVP of the league that year. It was just that type of focus. It was a different focus.
Yeah.
And so I was just ready, man, and never made it to the 5, but we was trying to get to 7, and then we was going to shut it down. And then come back and start from 1 again, just with different colors.
But I feel like it was a big deal that Nike got back together with you first in 2009 and 2011 re-signed you.
And then, shout out to Nike, because Nike came back after my comeback player of the year season. They gave me a new contract.
Yeah.
With money and everything.
Wow.
With money and merch. It's just they wasn't going to take the step and do all the other stuff, but they was like, yo, we love you enough and respect you enough.
Yeah.
Did that mean a lot to you at the time?
It meant a lot to me.
Yeah.
Then I jumped the gun 2 years later, like, yo, I'm ready for my retro shoe. What we waiting on? And I tried to go do something, and they was like, you don't listen.
Yeah.
Just snatched my contract, you know what I'm saying? Still kept me with my merch. I was happy with that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I was so satisfied in life with, I was like, look, I screwed up. I'm sorry I jumped the gun. I was trying to go retro, do my own line. I thought y'all would approve of that, but it don't work like that. That's not how it worked.
But now
your own line.
we're ready.
Yeah, but now the V7 line it'll be launching in another month or 2.
So take us through the process of that, and when like you came up with that, and what we could expect.
I've been working on it for like 2 years. It's been a long time coming. I felt like, people influenced it. The next generation, this generation influenced me to do it. I meet so many people on a daily basis, and all they asking about is when the Vick 1 coming out, or when the 2, or when the 3, or where can I get it? Yeah. And I have no answers. So I
you don't control those things.
I don't control that. And they don't
Somebody
understand
in Beaverton
that. They
makes
don't
the decision.
understand that. Yeah, they like, yo, this is your shoe. Where your shoe at?
Yeah.
It's not that easy. Connected with E. Scott again, like 2 years ago. And it's like, let's just start the process. Now reach out to Nike and see what they got going on. But at the same time, let's just kind of move at our own pace and not rush it, and try to build something that can be accepted and people that they'll like and they'll appreciate. And so we've created it doesn't even have a name. I'm gonna show y'all this.
Okay.
Yeah. But it don't have a name. I couldn't go Vick 6.
Yeah.
It's been like ideas floating around like the Vick 2.0. And we haven't given it a name, but we got a line, a whole apparel line, and I felt like I could do it.
Yeah,
I feel like I can market it. I feel like I got plenty of resources that can help me market it, and a lot of players in college and a lot of players in high school, and going the independent route. I do a lot of football camps and got a grassroots program, and it can be visible through that.
I'm looking forward to that. How much of a flex is that if you're a high school player?
I got my kids
my
kids who are beautiful kids sitting right over there. My son's an actor, entertainer. He'll have them on. My daughter's play flag football, collegiate flag football. Okay. She'll be visible in it. She's actually trying to make a push for the Olympics and trying to get better. And then I got my youngest son who got his earphones on over there. Maybe when he go to school and he got them on, and somebody like, hey, I like those. Yeah. Grab them here and there. But, haven't figured out distribution yet. Kind of got some sources on distribution. But, man, just so proud that God has allowed me to still be in a position where I can give back to the next generation and keep the dual threat legacy going, because that's what they're going to be called, the dual threat.
That's the name right there?
V7 dual threat.
Did we get it?
I mean, it's a lot of...
It's the front runner?
Okay.
Yeah, it's a front... Yeah, it's just a lot of things circulating in my mind, but when it hit, it's going to hit, and we'll talk about it, and I'm going to gift all y'all, and we're going to come back and we're going to talk about it.
Definitely.
Do you remember, sorry to go back, but do you remember like the first time you walked into a Foot Locker and saw your shoe on the shelf?
Yeah, it was so weird, man, to see my own shoe in a couple of different retail stores. I was like, man, it's a surreal moment.
Yeah.
And you looking and you're like, damn. And then you see somebody, yo, let me get these in a 10. You just playing the background. I'm like, they buying them too.
Crazy.
They buying them. This is just not a football thing, because it can just be a football thing.
Yeah.
And I was just trying to figure out, I've been trying to figure out, like, okay, you know, we doing a running shoe because that's important. Running shoes are very important.
Yep.
Training is important, and I always cater to that.
You get him out soon enough, I might do the marathon in him.
Imagine him.
E. Scott.
Put me on the team.
The signature athlete, your first signee, him.
Let me
Yes.
know. Put the contract together.
Yes, it's just random acts that, man, take you a long way. And I mean, it's a cool story, and
Yeah.
obviously you going to finish that race,
Yep.
especially if you got them shoes and you can finish. Yeah, I want to do a turf shoe, lifestyle shoe, and then the cleat. And so the cleat is just catered to football. I feel like that'll be a staple, and the urban lifestyle shoe is you can wear it with anything. You wear it with jeans, you can wear it with sweatpants. I'm kind of stumped on what the next one gonna be like, because we put a lot of time into this one, but I'm gonna leave it up to E to make sure that, you know, we're very consistent.
As someone who is so stylish on the field, is there any current players that you look at and are like, they got the sauce?
Well, I like watching these guys walk into the stadium. You see Dak, you see how Cam used to come.
Yeah.
They unapologetic about what they, you know, what people might think about them or what they got on, and they make it look good. You know what I'm saying? First of all, you know what I'm saying? They fly dudes, so they can pull it off. You know what I mean? Tyrod Taylor, these dudes, man, they come with the swag. You know what I mean? And a lot of other guys, Jalen Hurts,
Stephon
like
Diggs.
they pull a Stephon Diggs, like they pulling up, man, with confidence and with swag, and that's what it's about. But man, hopefully one day that somebody pull up and the cameraman will go like,
right, and they
There
have
we
a
go.
and I can have a pair of V7s on them, and
yeah.
you know they can kick them off when they get in the locker room. Just help your boy out, man. We trying to build something, create something.
Well, it's cool too because it's a new era in the league with footwear where they're way more allowing people to wear cool cleats or custom cleats. Back in your day, that wasn't a thing.
Yeah, no, not at all. And the thing with my cleats, I'm always trying to make something that's gonna look clean and look good. The only thing that people might not agree with, they like 3/4.
Okay.
I'm a 3/4 shoe guy. If they not low, I'm not a, you know, I like low tops in certain shoes, like, but I'm always like messing with 3/4 high top style shoes, because I don't know, that's just like my swag. That's my thing. But I got to think about the audience as well.
Yeah. Did you ever get fined for cleats back in the day?
Never got fined for cleats. Always fined for my socks.
Really?
Okay.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, that was a swag thing too. Pull a sock down real quick. You know what I mean? Show the calf muscle.
Yeah.
Let them know. You might not
Let them
be
know
the
I'm working out.
Yeah, right? Yeah. It's funny that you mentioned like playing the back and seeing someone buy your shoes, because AI always tells a story. He was driving when it really hit him that he has his own shoe.
Yeah.
He was driving and he saw a kid wearing. He pulled over the car, and it's just a feeling that like you can't describe, and maybe why you still want to continue footwear even like later in your career.
Yeah, well, I want to continue footwear because, one, I thought it was cool to have my own signature shoe, and I always wanted to have that line continue to grow like a Jordan. That was the focus.
Yeah.
But it was influenced by the people, man.
Yeah.
It was influenced by people who come up to me every day like, yo, wait, they're talking about two things. They either talking about Madden,
Which was crazy.
or they talking about where can I find your shoe?
Yes.
And obviously acknowledging, you know, the style of play.
Yeah.
But I'm like, man, it might be a market out there that I'm missing out on. And we always want to take advantage. And then it's brand building and it's legacy. And, you know, I got, you know, my kids who can continue to build and continue to have the brand, and they can run the brand one day. And that's the goal, you know. So I know that I'll always have some type of influence in the game of football. Changing the game is something that's a tag and the stigma that I'm going to take on.
Yeah.
Yep.
I still try to pay homage to the ones that came before me. That's why, you know, we did the evolution of the black quarterback.
Yeah.
But this is something that we can be long withstanding and for a long time, and hopefully have some longevity.
Did you ever have that AI moment, though, aside from being in a Foot Locker and seeing somebody buying the shoes, but the first time you saw someone wearing them out in public, do you remember?
Nah, but I remember the first time so after every game, they'll send you pictures of you in the game, like action shots. You know, we had a camera guy, he'd leave the pictures in your locker, and it was a picture of me. We was playing the Houston Texans, and I think it was their first year in existence. Like, we playing in Texas, and it was my first game back, coming back from an ankle injury. I've been out 12 weeks. was a little rusty. Winning the game and was making some things happen. We didn't win the game. I don't remember us winning, but there was a picture of me throwing the ball and my foot was in the air and I could just see the whole shoe and I'm like, we created that.
Yeah.
I'm like, that wasn't something that, just out of the Nike that Nike created.
Yeah.
They created it, but
Collab,
I had some input.
And you put it in motion.
I'm like, we did it.
Yeah.
We did it. And that was a moment like, man, now it's more pressure. I mean, you got your own shoe now. They really gonna be gunning at me.
Yeah.
But I accepted that.
Was it tough, like being in Atlanta for so long and everything being black, white, and red, and then going to Philadelphia and then now everything's green, and then you go to Pittsburgh and everything's black and yellow, and you're like, wait, I don't have these colors in my closet.
Yeah, man. I remember going to Philadelphia, and the crowd was way tougher. It's like, man, it's a different crowd.
sure.
Yeah.
It's a different crowd.
Yep.
It's different. These people are callous out here.
Yeah.
They on it. You got to be on it. And I felt that pressure, but I was like, man, it's a good pressure because it's gonna make me play better because I can't disappoint the fans. Then I'm like, damn, this is a stadium, man. They always beat me up in here. Like I come from Atlanta to Philly, and it's just crowd loud. Jeremiah Trotter and Brian Dawkins.
Oh,
and all
yeah.
these dudes
Giants had
wrecking
battles with
havoc.
them. I
I'm like,
remember
man,
those guys.
So it was like bittersweet. I'm like, man, I'm playing for the team who derailed me from going to the Super Bowl twice.
Yeah.
But then I look and see Donovan, and Donovan's a character, amazing personality, great sense of humor. He always had me laughing, and it's just the moment the mood was just always light in Philly.
And he was a big Jordan guy too throughout the years.
Yep. Don was a big Jordan guy.
Do you ever go back and buy your sneakers on eBay?
No, but my friends do.
Yeah.
And they be complaining, man, them shoes cost me $500, $600. Like they're marking them up out there. So, hopefully, whatever this shoe is called, man, the prices will be reasonable. I'm understanding the market and what it takes, and I know the process that Nike had to go through, the investment that goes into it. But, if you want to be great, you got to invest in yourself.
Yeah.
Sometimes when you believe, nobody's going to believe in you like you believe in you.
Yep.
And you got to step out on the leap of faith. And I believe in it. I believe that people will support it. And I think it'll be here for a long time. So, yeah, man, next year maybe I'll run that marathon with you.
Nice.
But I'll stop after 3 miles.
Okay.
We'll start
No
together.
I
way.
But
can make it 3,
way.
I think. I can make it 3.
26 miles.
Yeah.
I'm talking about, man, that's truly Ironman status.
Yeah.
Superior athlete status. Man.
When I finish it.
When you finish it,
Let's
let's
not-
speak
let's
that
not-
into existence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We appreciate it.
With your original Nike shoes, throughout, when you have shoes throughout the years, the older they get, there's always the possibility when you pull them out the box, they like crumble or fall apart. Have you reached that point with any of the original ones where you like pull them out and you're like, man, I can't even wear these now?
Nah, man, the shoes that I have, man, the ones like I appreciate them so much still. You know what I'm saying? Whether they're mines or whether they're old pair Air Force ones, because I still got some in the attic.
Yeah.
Just in
Still
case.
got some in the attic. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it's funny, man. When I went to Philly, I used to wear my shoes, and because I'm trying to bring visibility. I'm like, man, I got to bring my brand back. I got to continue to support myself. One of my teammates was like, man, bro got his own shoes on. He made me feel bad about it. I was like, let me put these up,
Yeah.
Really?
but not in a crazy way.
Yeah.
Now the cleats was different,
Mm-hmm.
but the swag with the shoe was like, I was like, man, let me put these up for a rainy day.
Yeah.
I'm gonna need these somewhere else, not in here.
Mm-hmm.
Not in here. Not this ain't the environment.
We can't thank you enough for giving us your time. Evolution of the Black Quarterback is out now on Prime Video.
On video.
Thank you so much for joining us. Great to talk to you about the sneaker history. We'll be on the lookout for that new line for sure.
I look forward to coming back. Even if I'm not back in the flesh in the next couple of months, then I have them so we can, maybe we'll do a Zoom or something. We'll
Sounds
figure it
good.
Thanks so
Appreciate
much,
you, Mike.
man.
out. No
Thank
doubt.
you.
Thanks for having me.
All right, everyone. This has been the Complex Sneaker Show. We hope everyone has a great weekend. Please like, subscribe. We will see you in 2 weeks.